Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, we're going to be taking a look at some of the more hidden and secretive details that can be found within the Gunrunning screenshot and Newswire articles. That's right, many of the things we're going to be talking about today, like the location of the bunker and some cool things that you guys pointed out, came from you tweeting at me or in the comment section, so thank you so much for that. We're going to be diving into everything today, and like I said, if I missed anything, feel free to hit me up on Twitter, say, Mr. Boss, you missed this is cool. So anyways, let's not waste any more time, and let's get it started though. The first thing we're going to look at today is in this screenshot right here. It's the APC tank with like the super missiles coming out of the top. It's a pretty cool screenshot. Now, there's a couple things that we can gather from here. Number one, the hatches on the windows. I wonder if those are going to serve any functionality. Now, in Grand Theft Auto 4 and in the Ballad of Gay Tony, they were always open, those hatches, but I wonder if there's a way in which you can close them, offering more bullet resistance. Like if someone's shooting at you, is there a way to flip it up and down just like the convertibles work? That would be pretty awesome. And if we look inside too, we can see that our character is wearing a pretty cool camouflage hat too. This is something that I completely missed yesterday, and I'm assuming that's going to be one of our new clothing options as well. Something else to point out with this anti-air vehicle is the fact that the missiles are different. I thought that the missiles would just be like the regular RPG or homing missiles, but those are completely different. Rockstar is using a new asset here. So it kind of makes me wonder, is this vehicle and are those missiles only going to be able to tackle aircrafts only? Because you can see it's shooting up into the sky. That might be one way in which Rockstar balances this to make it not so overpowered, is that it could only tackle air vehicles with that SAM system attachment on there. That's definitely something to think about as a way to balance these APCs. Now, something else that I kind of thought of is it looks like all the vehicles we've seen so far, that being the Duneloader, the armored and weaponized Tampa, and then this, the APC, it looks as if all of them can be operated with one person. Whereas some of the other military vehicles we have in the game, like the Valkyrie, you need two other players to take full advantage of its weapon capacity. So I think that's actually pretty cool if you look at it that way. I do prefer vehicles where you can operate the weapons by yourself. Other ones like the Insurgent Pickup, the Technical, they obviously require other players. So those are just a couple things that I noticed from this first screenshot right here. Now let's move on to the location of the bunker. That is something that a lot of people were interested in finding. Where is this Los Santos Air Base bunker? Now, as I mentioned, the sign and the bunker itself are not currently in the game. So if you go to this spot, you won't find it, but it's actually located right here. So this is where it is on the map. You can see it's in the Grand Sonora Desert, just west of Trevor's Airfield, and it's kind of located near like this oil rig facility or this like mining facility, which I have no idea if that is connected anyway to the bunker, but you can see that's where it is, and this is what it looks like in the game itself. We were able to kind of figure this out with the help of my good friend Silas Pro from the cactus location. Believe it or not, the post that was in front of the sign, and then that little light in the back as well that actually gave it away. So that's pretty cool. That's where the bunker is located. I'm sure there's going to be multiple bunker locations. I'd find it very hard to believe that there would only be one bunker in the entire game that people actually end up using. But I do think it's fun to speculate. What other locations do you guys think could be used as bunkers or other spots in the game? I'd love to hear from you guys on that. Now, a couple things that are interesting if we go back to the bunker shot itself. A few things about the sign. It says Los Santos Air Base Bunker. What is an air base bunker? Does that mean we're going to be storing helicopters and aircrafts in there? That could actually be pretty interesting because in the screenshots that we've seen, there was no jets, no helicopters, no planes that we saw, but they specifically state air base bunker, even though we see a vehicle driving in here. So I wonder if helicopters, jets, and other planes are going to be able to be stored in there. Now, something else that is pretty interesting are the logos on the left and right. They are kind of hard to read, but those are the same logos that can be found on the Savage helicopter, which of course is another military vehicle, and also the entrance to Fort Zancudo. It has the exact same logos on there as well. So I don't know if that means anything. I don't know if there's like a connection to Fort Zancudo here, but I did think that was pretty interesting that those logos do end up matching up. The fourth thing we can gather from the screenshot and what you guys pointed out to me is that that truck we're looking at right there, the Duneloader, its back tires aren't actually wheels, but they're actually like tank tracks, which I think is pretty awesome. That is something I did not notice at a first glance. You guys pointed that out to me, so that is incredibly cool that those are tank tracks on the back, which I think is epic. So it's kind of like a half rack vehicle, which is really, really cool. And also the bunker that it's going into, it almost looks as if that rises out of the ground. So this is something that I found was pretty similar to what I'm talking about. I don't think it's going to be open like that all the time, because you can see the teeth on the side of like the walls of the door. It almost looks as if it's going to rise out of the ground. So I wonder if it's going to be exactly like this, where it just pops out of the ground. What I think we're looking at right here is a cutscene, and what we're going to see when we bring our vehicles into the actual base. I don't think there's ever going to be a point in time where it opens up like this outside of a cutscene. Just kind of like with the import-export garage offices, how it only takes our cars up the elevator during a cutscene. That's kind of my prediction. All right, moving on. The next thing that I actually noticed from this screenshot right here is the passenger gets screwed as far as the armor plating goes. So take a look at this Tampa right here. The driver's side has the vertical and horizontal bars that go on the windshield, as well as on the driver's side, as well as a little bit of metal plating. The dude on the passenger side has no protection in his window. So I wonder if that was on purpose to prevent this vehicle from being like super overpowered, but it looks as if that side is definitely the weakness on the weaponized Tampa, and we haven't been able to see the back of this vehicle. So I don't know if it's armor plated on the back. It seems as if it is, if we zoom in on the screenshot as much as we can, but I still think it's funny the passenger gets a little bit left out to dry here when it comes to the protection of themselves in the vehicle. If we move on to this screenshot right here, the main one that was shown off yesterday, a lot of people were arguing, is this a new gun? Is this an AK-12? Is this just a modified AK-47? My prediction is that it's just a modified AK-47. Now, it could be a potentially different version, but as far as what it is in game, it's the exact same. Take a look at this image right here. You can see there are some differences, but it is the exact same gun that is featured. It's the assault rifle. It's the AK-47. So hopefully that solves the mystery right there. I'm willing to bet there's a lot of weapons in the game that get very similar upgrades like this, where they're going to look different, but are essentially the same guns, just with crazy modifications. I still think that's really cool though, and it's an epic looking variant of that weapon. So again, lots of cool stuff looks to be coming in this Gunrunning DLC. Now let's move back to the newswire. There is a couple things I want to talk about that I think are pretty interesting. The first of which is full service mobile operation centers. So what are these? A lot of people are assuming that these could be the aircraft carriers as far as what our mobile operation centers are going to be. And while I think that's an okay guess because it is super military related, if you just Google mobile operation centers, what you really get is more of like RVs that are like either really tactical or, you know, used for industrial purposes. So I don't know what to expect here. Honestly, I'm kind of predicting that it's going to be a more upgraded Brickade that has like more features or more things we could use on the inside, like computers, maybe like a little armory or a weapons upgrading bench or something along those lines. I don't think we're going to be getting the aircraft carriers, even though that could potentially make sense as a mobile operation center, because technically it is mobile and could be a pretty epic operation center. But that's what I think it's going to be. I think it's just going to be a more unique looking Brickade. They also talk about doing research, which I think is interesting, one of the most overlooked parts of this update. And that's probably the thing that I'm most excited about, is information on the specific business and research opportunities. So it kind of almost is diving into like the RPG category here, where like the more you level up a certain skill, the better things you get. So I wonder if you do like more research opportunities, do more business missions, that you'll get better guns, better items, better weapons, better vehicles. That's something that in my opinion could be pretty cool and could be an interesting dynamic of this Gunrunning DLC. And really the last thing I want to touch on is this might be the new best money-making method in the game. Now, I'm sure that the cost to get involved in this is going to be incredibly expensive, but Rockstar went out of their way to say like profit and investment and top dollar is going to be huge in this DLC. So I'm imagining this might trump all the other ones we have in the game, like the CEO crates, the biker business, the import-export stuff. And if so, that's going to be awesome. I'm always looking for new great ways to make money. And if this is the best new way, I think that's going to be amazing. But anyways, that's all the information that I've got for you guys in this video today. Hopefully you did enjoy and hopefully you learned a thing or two. If you did, be sure to drop a like rating on the video. That would be awesome. As well as subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.